everyone, today we are in the F-5. I had an interesting string of sorties that were all back-to-back along the west coast of Syria on our Cold War server. I have been playing a lot more blue lately, so I thought it would be nice to add this video in. The story basically tells itself, but I included some thoughts as captions so you can get an idea of what I was thinking. If this is your first time here, this channel focuses on multiplayer sim gameplay, so if you're into that, please subscribe. So we start this sortie off along the coast. Been very busy activity here. And we see that there is a MiG-21 Hart. He's only 6 nautical miles away, and he's low. So we're basically just opposite of each other at the same altitude, and you can see the dot up ahead. My hope is that I can snipe him with a gunshot on the head-on, and hopefully he doesn't see me because I'm below him. And we see an AWACS in the background as well, which we'll come to later. So, not able to get the shots on, because my guns weren't armed, which was stupid. And my idea is to whip it around as quickly as possible, because I am pretty fast. Still at 500 knots, and he engaged afterburners and he's turning, so I don't want to flat turn with him straight up here. So what I try to do is exchange some of the speed for altitude. I'm hoping he's pulling as hard as possible. If he doesn't, he goes high, and I'm at 400 knots, so I have to be careful here because the lower I get, the harder this is going to be. And he goes very aggressively vertical, and I kind of just sat there to watch him. Now he is expecting a shot. I'm being patient with this and don't feel comfortable shooting this shot, but now I exchange the altitude for speed and nose position. .400 knots still. Barely missed the SAM site, which was fortunate. And I pull more, and we see that I did exchange speed and we hit him here, which was great. Notice how that Sidewinder shot off really straight, and that's because I used the uncage, excuse me. So now in the next fight, we see someone that gets splashed up above us. And it looks like a MiG-21 based on the afterburner. You can always tell, because it kind of looks like a candle, especially with its shape. This is sort of a shot to hope I could hit him as he's running away, but this guy is fast as balls. And the missile doesn't look like it's going to connect, which is unfortunate. He flares. You probably saw the the smoke trail later. This was a pretty decent shot. I thought he was a little far, but that missile did come off pretty straight, which is to me is a pretty good indication that the missile was shot well. This pool here was probably not the right idea, a little aggressive, because I did lose a lot of speed and I tried to snipe him in that turn. So now I'm in a scissor with him with a lot of other people nearby. There's about 3 MiG-21s in total within a 3 nautical mile area. So I'm going to have to scissor with him. I'm way slow, but I do have altitude, so I'm hoping I can dip out if I need to. And that was really unfortunate because I was winning that scissor. So now I have to avoid his nose. And I decide I'm not going to scissor with him. I'm going to dip out, raise my flaps, and try to build up some speed so I can better defend myself. Maybe scissoring there, could continue the scissor could have been a good idea, but there are other MiG-21s here. I did dodge that missile. I remember actually flying this. I remember there was someone else, so that's why I flared. Another missile, dodged that one with flares. And now I'm going to be in a really slow scissor here. Speed's definitely under 200 knots, or there we go. So he slipped out past us, just using rudder and roll. And now the idea is, because I'm so slow, is I'm going to have to try to pop him, because if I try to pick up speed, I'm going to shoot out past him. Unfortunately, the other F-5 missed his shot. He looked like he shot too early. And 200 knots. Now I'm going to have to pull up. So he's going vertical. This is a really bad spot to be in. And can I get the nose up? So very close. And I get bailed out. He got team killed, which was unfortunate because that was kind of a good fight. So my takeaway on this one is that pulling for that shot after the first 2 missiles missed kind of screwed me up because there were too many MiG-21s here. As soon as I disengaged, I was probably able to walk away from that, but there were just other MiG-21s that held me up. At this point, I did take some shots. I see that our airfield's close, so I just dip out toward it, and basically the rest of the sortie, nothing actually happens because they basically let me go. I'm guessing the other friendlies nearby were able to kind of bail me out. This next fight, I did engage and take out that AWACS that I called out earlier, and I did have to fly by their airfield, so I'm a little worried about not being able to get away. They have fresh fuel, they'll probably be full burner, and there is someone coming after me. So good that I got their AWACS, but now I'm kind of stuck here a little bit. And also, this was pretty late at night, so I decided, hey, I'm having fun, maybe I'll just try to go back and fight. So my idea was trying to use some terrain to mask my turn back into him, but I did this in a very lazy way because I could have gone lower into the canyon and then started turning, so he definitely knows I'm turning into him already, which it was just stupid that I did that. So I'm fast, I try to come out over the top, which is pretty aggressive, especially in an F-5. This is probably something that I should do in a MiG-19, but not necessarily an F-5. So I've already lost a bunch of speed. I think I started this fight at like 500 knots, and I would guess, just based on what I'm seeing here, like I'm at 300, maybe even, yeah, probably 300. Yeah, so 300. So I'm kind of at like the border. If I go any slower than this is a problem. And he's in a really good position, and I'm dumping my, I'm in full afterburners, both my air brakes out because I want him to overshoot. And I did dodge a missile there, and I'm back at, you know, very slow, and the overshoot's almost working. He pulls up. Now what happened here, as we're gonna see as it develops, he saw that he was overshooting, so he nosed down really hard, and what ended up happening was, because he nosed down so hard, he conked his engine out. I talked to the pilot later, so that was not really a great fight by me, but it ended up being kind of interesting. Sometimes the over-aggression to try to rely on the nose authority to get a shot sometimes screws you if you don't hit your shot. This next sortie, we see flares going off, so that means there is a helicopter nearby, and we're in friendly territory, so I'm assuming it's a hind or a hip. It has been interesting looking at the stats, or the preliminary stats of the troop inserts. They are quite strong. I'm going to guess that when these become public, people are going to be trying to snipe the helicopters more often. So I know there's a helicopter below there, but we have a Mirage F1 hot. He's 7 nautical miles away, and I'm looking for him. Looking for him. 1 nautical mile away. And I see him and I start diving in on him. And it's nice to have more altitude than him because he is pretty fast. Raise my flaps, try to go as fast as possible. So I uncage. Missile shot came off the rail pretty straight, so that could be a good shot. And he beats it with flares. Unfortunate. Let's try again. That missile was totally straight off the rail. And then he goes down. And we see, what is it, an F-14? Yeah, F-14. Okay, so now that the Mirage is taken care of, I can look for this hind or hip, and I do see him against, I see a shadow against this hill to the left of the red smoke. And it looks like it's a hip. So I'm going to try to saw his tail off. I usually don't shoot at helicopters too much because I kind of feel bad. But in talking with someone else who was watching this with me, he basically recommended going for the body. I thought going for the tail would be better because it would snap it off, but I missed, so I go in for a second run. And someone else used a missile to splash him. So we're going to continue our patrol. No missiles. we are close to our airfield, so we can use up a lot of fuel. Someone is 1 nautical miles hot, and we have 1, 2, 3 more planes within 10 nautical miles, so this is a very busy area. So I'm going very fast. I think, what was that, 550, 600 knots? Yeah, 600. Go. Gotta be careful not breaking my wing here. So being very patient here. I start cranking down on the turn. Okay, he sees me. So I go always back and forth every other month, it seems. I either like the computer gun, or sorry, not the computer, the radar gun sight, or I just go old school like World War II. So I decided to go for that here. The new radar gun sight is actually pretty good, but old habits die hard. Just being an IL-2 player, I end up using the fixed gun sight. So a little rusty on the F-5 because I haven't played it in a while. I'm mostly flying the A4. But he is burning up a lot of speed, and I'm definitely not in a danger of overshooting. Looks like I hit his wing fuel tank there. This guy panics, and he pulls straight up, which is like one of the worst things you can do. Because this is like the easiest shot ever. So a little low on ammo. But we're going to see if we can get another. This guy's very close. Okay, that's a safer. So I was thinking of our team being here or extending. That's the airfield up ahead because there's a lot of guys hot on me right now. Too hot, with all within 5 nautical miles. And because I don't have missiles and I'm low on ammo, kind of hard to defend myself, so I decided to go to the airfield. Don't see them behind me, but I know they're back there somewhere. So I am wondering at this point if they're going to be trying to hit the airfield. Yep, there's a missile out on him. So the SAM hit him. It's kind of dangerous if the SAM doesn't hit me. So he survived the SAM hit, but his plane's probably really screwed up. So now this is going to be an easy kill. Problem is that he turns in back in toward the airfield. And my engine goes out because I ran out of fuel because this was a really long sortie. So luckily the airfield's right there, just slightly above 300 knots. Flaps are up. Pull the gears down. Just starting to glide it in. Don't have that much airfield space left, but can make it work. 200 knots, it's pretty quick. I actually forgot to bring my flaps down, which was a problem. And we get down safely. Fun little string of sorties. I thought it was a nice little story. And, you know, I like flying the F-5. I like flying all the Cold War planes, really. It's just nice to mix it up because it does... The planes are so different that it does feel like a whole new game. So I hope you guys found this interesting. Maybe you learned something. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to support, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to help the channel. Thank you.
Yeah.